Sunday looking like another day for severe weather across a large part of the south as well as southeast. We're kind of honing in on that zone between I-20 and I-10, again extending from eastern Texas all the way into southern parts of Georgia. This is where there's a level 3 risk of severe storms. This is an enhanced risk from the Storm Prediction Center, and this does include some pretty heavily populated areas. This will occur throughout a large part of the day on Sunday. We'll time this out here in just a second, but some of those main hazards we're focused on are going to be damaging winds, tornadoes, large hail, as well as flash flooding. So all hazards on the table as we head into Sunday. You need to make sure you take this seriously. Let's go ahead and kind of time this out beginning around midnight as we progress throughout the morning. Going to see some early morning convection across parts of Louisiana, especially into Mississippi, Alabama, as well as Georgia. Now, the severe threat during the early morning hours on Sunday probably going to be a hail threat. These storms aren't going to be surface based at that point. However, as that atmosphere starts to become a little more unstable, these storms may eventually start posing a tornado hazard in parts of Alabama as well as southern Georgia as we head into the late morning hours on Saturday. Also notice a little bit farther west, starting to see some storms develop out across Texas. This will be another severe threat that starts to evolve heading into the late morning, early afternoon hours. You can see they start to work their way into western parts of Louisiana. Those storms quickly going to become severe as they tap into some unstable air, some pretty favorable shear profiles as well, and still dealing with those thunderstorms across parts of Alabama as well as Georgia heading into late morning. As we head into the afternoon hours, that complex of storms starts working its way toward the Mississippi River. These storms will produce damaging winds, large hail, isolated tornadoes, and if we get any cells to pop up ahead of this main line, those would have an enhanced tornado threat, and even out across the southeast in Georgia into the Carolinas, starting to deal with those thunderstorms continuing into the afternoon hours. And this complex just going to progressively work its way east heading into the afternoon into those evening hours. So this is going to be a prolonged severe event from the morning hours all the way into the afternoon and evening hours. And you can even see that line just continues to work its way toward the east into parts of Alabama as well as Georgia. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the terminology. If you hear of a tornado watch, that means that the atmosphere and everything's kind of coming together for the possibility of some tornadoes. So there's not a tornado warning or a tornado on the ground at that point, but everything kind of coming together. You need to have a plan in place, have several sources to get that weather information. Now, when a tornado warning is issued, that means a tornado has been spotted by radar or it's been observed by a storm spotter on the ground, maybe an EMS person, a firefighter. They've seen a tornado. That means you need to go ahead and get in your shelter. Now, if there is a tornado emergency, that means catastrophic damage is possible and grave risk to people. So that means you definitely need to make sure you get in a shelter really quickly. What do you need to go? Where do you need to go if there is a tornado warning? Well, you need to make sure you go into a basement or a storm shelter. If you don't have that, go into an interior room that doesn't have any windows. That's going to be the safest thing to do if you are within a home. You definitely want to make sure that you're away from windows and get on that lowest floor of your home. Now, if you're in a mid-rise building, you probably want to go down to that first floor, get into a stairwell. That's going to be the safest place to get if there is a tornado that is headed for your location. Again, make sure you have a plan in place. Don't panic, just have that plan in place and make sure you have several sources to get warning and watch information on Sunday.